The Children's Defense Fund of Ohio says officers in schools increases the likelihood that children will be arrested for minor, nonviolent disciplinary matters that are better left to educators to address. Good evening, I'm Tracy Townsend in for Kristen Hartman tonight.
And I'm Jerry Revish. But 10 TV's Tanisha Millette spent some time with a school resource officer who says having someone like her in a schoolhouse reduces the risk of your child being arrested. Tanisha has the story from Genoa Township.
Have a good class, guys.
When students are in the hallway at Genoa Middle School,
Come on, bell rang, guys. You should all be where you need to be.
Officer Sarah Rath is there. When they're in class, she makes sure doors are secure and students are safe.
So what class are you going to, kiddo?
She says this is what a school resource officer, or SRO,
Enjoy the rest of your day.
brings to a school.
Through that type of interaction, I believe that my position helps decrease the amount of incident where I may have to charge a student.
But the Children's Defense Fund of Ohio says schools that have resource officers tend to have a higher arrest rate for students for minor misbehavior.
There's a sort of tendency to want to say police officers keep us safe, let's get as many of them in there as possible. And they do keep us safe in our communities. Whether they keep children safe in schools is a more open question.
Sarah Beal says this does not mean that SROs are a bad idea, but that school districts should think critically about how they integrate these officers in their schools.
Keep students safe without sort of raising the risk of students getting pushed out of school by high arrest rates, higher school discipline rates.
Beal says having an agreement between the police department and the school district on which type of incidents each would handle helps out in this area. It's an agreement that Rath says Genoa Township Police has with Westerville City Schools. And while she says having an SRO is the best move for a school.
I'm an advocate for it.
Tanisha Millette, 10 TV News.
Now, the Children's Defense Fund of Ohio says the majority of school districts in Central Ohio have a student resource officer. Here's a closer look at the research the group's citing. A report from the National Education Policy Center found that only 5% of suspensions nationally were for weapons or drugs, while the rest were for things like disruptive behavior. In Ohio, the Department of Education reports that only 6% of out-of-school suspensions during the 2010-2011 school year involved weapons or drugs. And researchers found that schools with SROs had nearly 5 times as many disorderly conduct arrests as schools without an SRO.